Hi, and welcome back to In My Hometown. It is almost Valentine's Day. Actually, I think it's Saturday that Valentine's Day is, and we thought it was a perfect opportunity to talk modern dating and finding love at any age. And joining us today is Megan Wessels, and she is the founder of Throwback Dating and a dating expert. And we are just so happy you're here with us today.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks for joining us
Love
today.
the topics you guys talk about.
Yeah, so you are on a mission, essentially, to find people or help people navigate love and find their love. And you're doing it sort of as a back to basics and what you're calling throwback dating. Is that right? So tell us what that means. What does throwback dating mean?
Yeah, so the tagline is we're throwing it back to what dating was like before the apps.
Yeah.
And really it's creating more human connection. It's been missing. I mean, the apps, you know, a lot of people have succeeded with the apps, but I also feel like the apps have created such a divide between human beings, and we've lost that ability to connect with each other. Yeah. So I'm really trying to bring that back, create more love and connection in the world, because we need more of that right now than ever.
Well, I don't know if I think you've talked to Pascal before about this, or at least heard some of our episodes, but one of the running themes has been dating apps, and he is, definitely has shared, right? I'm speaking for you right now.
Yeah, okay. I think...
you know where we're going at
Yes,
this.
where we're going.
Yeah.
I mean, Megan and I had a chance to do an event together a while back, and the concept of what she's doing, I am 100% on your side. I just think it is much better to meet the person. But if I remember, and tell me a bit more about it, if I remember, we had a challenge to find more men than women. Am I right? That was the challenge. There was a lot more women who sign up than men. And the second question I will have for you is, when we throw the event, you said that men has tendency to stick together and not mingle with a woman.
Yes.
Yes. So
men are the problem.
Yes.
Well,
Men
I'm just
always.
kidding.
It's always the men's problem.
Okay, I'm just kidding. Matt.
yeah. So yes, I honestly think that the reason nobody has done this before with what I'm creating, this is my full-time job. I am creating this community for people who are over 45. My target audience is 45 to 75. I know that's a pretty big range, but I would say majority of them are in their 50s and 60s. The majority of them are divorced and are really struggling with the dating apps. You know, they're getting back out there in this dating scene. It's totally different than it was when they dated before, and they're kind of lost. And so it's creating this community where they can come and meet each other, build those connections naturally. There's no pressure, there's no awkwardness, try to make it fun. I think for the men, it's a confidence thing. It's putting yourself out there for something that you're not quite sure what to expect. You don't know what's on the other side of it. You don't know who's going to be there. And they're a little bit more hesitant to put themselves out there that way. Women are much more risk-taking in that sense, where they will just sign up for something without really knowing a whole lot about it. And with the men, a lot of times it involves a conversation. It's really warming them up to the experience, letting them know what it's going to be like so that they feel more comfortable coming.
Is that age specific that you need to sort of warm them up, or are certain ages of the men more understanding of what this is?
Good question. I don't really think it's
She does ask good questions.
honestly. Yeah,
Yes.
you both do.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't think it's age specific. From what I've seen, I don't really deal with the younger demographic, but I've heard people who are hosting events and for younger people dating are experiencing the same challenges.
Right. And because what we've talked a lot about with the dating apps is that, there's this fear of rejection, mostly of men. I mean, women have it too, but I guess men have a lot of it. And that's where the apps, they help them avoid that fear, right?
You can hide behind a screen. Right. Absolutely.
But you know what? This is very funny because, I'm following a little bit the stock market, and the Match.com and Hinge report earning last week and did a gangbanger, beat estimate by...
Gangbusters.
Yes. mean, the bit estimé, like it wasn't, I couldn't believe it.
Yeah.
And then you and I have been talking over the last few weeks about the online dating. Personally, to me, it's not my cup of tea. I just don't like to see 3 pictures of a woman who are, most of them are selfies. They're not even taking picture professionally. Yeah. So, I would like to explore more the meet, the getting together in a room with a lot of women, a lot of men, but it's not that easy to. I mean, we've experienced it. It was not that easy to collect the number of people. And you're right. I think men are much more cautious. I think men are, and I'm speaking as a man. We are much more superficial and shallow. We want to be able to see the person before we go into the adventure. We want to see who we're going to deal with.
So, Megan, what surprises people most when they come to one of your events? And they are able to sort of, understand what it's going to be, and then they do it. What would you say?
Okay, what I've heard from the men is they're shocked. They're like, wow, there's no pressure. This was great. It was so easy. But it's getting them there to experience that first. And with the women, yeah, I think, sometimes they're a little shocked because there's more women. Not always. I really do work really hard to keep the balance, but it takes some work. And, but the men, yeah, like they have a great experience when they come. To answer your other question that you asked about actually coming to the events, what I found with the singles mixers, where you just kind of leave it open for people to connect, it doesn't work. At least not for people in this age demographic. The women start congregating in little groups, and the men end up standing at the bar by themselves. And so I've really had to create opportunities for them to talk to each other, almost like force them to talk, whether that's through games or just different exercises they can do. So it has been a real learning experience, and just doing this work over the past year and a half to really see, okay, this isn't working. So how can I shift this a little bit, make it a better experience for people?
Right.
She did something very interesting, actually, and I like that. When we came up to the event, you had a card of deck, and you cut it in half, and you mix it up, and you give me a King of Heart, and you give Jamie like a ace, and we were trying to match the card. So I come up to you and say, hey, what is your card? And it's not. What is your card? So it'll give a chance to, it's a little game where it'll give you a chance for the man to go look where is the other half of the card, and it give a chance to talk to everybody. I thought that was a very good idea, actually.
Yeah, because what you're saying is that leave it up to everyone, and they're just not going to mingle. I even see that dynamic just when I go to a party, not a singles party, but just a party, and a cocktail party or something for a friend, and you'll go and people don't mingle. So you just get stuck talking to the same people, unless which they're my friends, so I'm happy, but you want to see some of your other friends. And I just feel like the art of mingling, listen to me, I'm talking about the art of mingling, doesn't seem to be that prevalent anymore. And so I would think that would be difficult. What about, I remember years ago, there was a craze around speed dating. And so do you guys do something like that, where you might have everyone sit and switch with a timer or something?
I haven't done that yet, but I'm actually trying that this weekend.
Okay.
I have an event.
How it goes. Okay.
Yeah, so I'm calling it slow dance dating.
Ooh, okay.
I don't like the idea of speed. I don't want to create that idea, that feeling of pressure where you have to sell yourself to somebody in 3 minutes or 5 minutes, whatever it may be. I want people to feel really relaxed. And so with this, this is the first time I'm trying it, but yeah, there's a certain number of men and a certain number of women, and they will switch and talk to each other, very similar to speed dating. But before they actually sit down and talk to each other, they're going to do some sort of an activity or exercise to get to know each other, to break the ice, to make it more fun and open their hearts. I do find that in just watching people, observing people, I think the one thing that overall is the challenge with dating, especially when you're trying to do it in person, is people are so closed off. They're in their head. I mean, we're so distracted today by technology, and people are so much more in their heads than ever before. And just sitting down with someone, opening your heart, really letting your heart guide you. You don't need to have a checklist to figure out if this person is the right match for you. Your heart will tell you. Your gut will tell you. But you have to give them time and give them a chance and really get to know them. And I also think a lot of people, they say that they don't want to waste their time.
Right.
But if you don't look at it as like a waste of time, if you actually look at it as like an opportunity to learn more about yourself, you're never wasting your time. I look at dating as an adventure. Like, I'm going to go out and I'm going to meet somebody new and I'm going to get to know them and I'm going to see how they vibe with me and, learn more about this person, learn more about myself in the process.
But it can be a little bit, I guess, both frustrating and I think a little bit, well, I don't want to say daunting, but maybe a little upsetting when or deflated when you sort of don't meet or someone doesn't meet your expectations a little bit. I'd love to, we've covered this a lot where it's chemistry and some people think that chemistry is instant and some people think it grows. Some people think chemistry is physical and what is your take on it? And what do you think is the best way to look at sort of chemistry with someone?
This is a great question. So there's compatibility and then there's chemistry. Two totally different things, right? Chemistry takes time.
Yes.
If you feel that instant spark with someone, a lot of times that is your subconscious. It's attracted to something that is familiar. It isn't necessarily good for you.
You hear that?
So,
he's attracted to the same thing.
I mean,
And
I just think that I think chemistry is when you see somebody and you're attracted to that person. There is a certain aura about her who wants you to meet her. And then after that, obviously, there is the communication who goes with it. But I mean, I think men, and again, I'm just, again, speaking as a man, not as a woman, but I'm speaking as a man, then we are a little bit more superficial and shallow. Okay, men likes to be physically, visually attracted to the person before they engage the conversation. And I think as soon as you engage the conversation, then you understand a little bit the person, and then you start building up a little bit more like a energy to it. But I think to me, chemistry is if you have it or not. When you meet somebody, for me, I know if I have the chemistry or not with that person.
It takes time, though, honestly, to get to know someone because people put their best foot forward in the first few dates, the first few conversations.
Honeymoon.
Yeah,
stage,
you don't really get to know someone until 2, 3, 4 dates in. Like then you start seeing their behaviors.
It takes way longer than that to know someone than 3, 4 dates.
Well, yeah.
It takes you 6 months to a year to really know the person. I think to really know the person, you have to spend a lot of time. You have to travel with that person. You got to see her, spend time, see her in a good mood and in a bad mood. See her when she wake up in the morning. I think to me, the infatuation is what I'm talking about. You meet somebody, you get that infatuation, you get that attraction. And after that, you develop the communication, you develop the friendship, and you move on. But it takes time. It took more than 4 or 5 dates.
Oh, no, I agree.
Yeah.
And I'm just saying, like, they'll tell you in like the maybe 3rd, 4th date if you want to continue going on dates with this person.
After the second date, I know if I want to go on a date or not.
Well, you sound like you're an expert.
I am
so
an
I don't know what to
expert.
say. We can all call ourselves experts. What do you think is the biggest mistake that people make early on in the dating?
I think it's different for men and women. I think with men, they don't assess enough. They're not looking to, they're very attracted to the person physically and they don't take the time. They're not as discerning. So they don't take the time to like really get to know this person. Is this person's values aligned with mine?
Right.
Do we have similar lifestyles? Will this person fit into my lifestyle easily? What are this person's habits? Like, what does this person see? Where do they see themselves in the next 5 years? Are we aligned there? I mean,
versus sort of that superficiality piece.
Yeah, they're like, oh, she's gorgeous. Oh, I want to get to know her. Yeah,
they may actually fit more of those value bills. Yeah, right?
Yeah. So men are not as discerning in the early part.
Yes.
That's the biggest mistake I see. And then the others, for women, I think it's kind of the opposite, where women come to the table with expectations. This is what I've heard from men a lot, that they feel like they're being disqualified before they're being qualified, meaning the women are looking for a way they have this checklist in their head and they're looking for a way to figure out if this guy is going to be a fit, because then she doesn't have to continue subconsciously putting herself out there to potentially get hurt. And it's a protective mechanism. I think in both ways, it's a protective
It goes
mechanism.
both ways, yeah. Sometimes with men. I mean, they could be attracted, but, they take it cautiously because they don't want to get hurt.
Yeah.
Right.
But again, like going back to it, if you just come to it with an open heart and much more in your feminine energy for the women, where you're not thinking about whether or not this guy is the right fit. You're just feeling into it, like having a conversation, feeling that connection. Do you feel asking questions about his values and his lifestyle, getting to know him, and then down the line making a decision, kind of building a friendship first, and just having fun with it. It doesn't have to be so serious.
Right. I mean, it's not a job
No.
to find someone.
Yeah,
It is
have
a
fun
job.
You're
with it.
approaching it.
It is a job for someone to find someone.
Right.
It is a job. They spend time on the dating website and they go from one to another, to another, to another. And, we've talked to a website expert who told her, then you got to spend 30 days on there and then change, take a break and go back to another day.
Right. Well, that was that there's a strategy. I mean, I guess strategy and job also are, it's semantics, but I think I do agree that you should be thinking about it more strategically, that you shouldn't just be like, whatever happens, because it could happen that way. But I guess right now with everything that's going on, it's not likely. And you do need to put a little bit more of a strategy or effort into it. So, but what you're saying, Megan, is that the apps and online is sort of hindering some of this natural ability to meet and find love.
Yeah.
And so and that's really why you are doing this. Have you tried the apps? What has been your experience in that? And do you share in this frustration that some people have with it, or did you have some success with it?
Yeah, I've been on the apps. I haven't been on the apps in 2 years.
Okay.
But I met some great people on there. Yeah. I learned a lot about myself. Honestly, I really feel like dating is an adventure and learning more about yourself.
Yes.
And if you can have fun with that and have fun with just getting to know someone, like it just takes all that pressure off and you end up attracting really good people. The people I date now are so different than what I dated before because I've learned more about myself and I've become more discerning before I even go on a date with someone. And the apps, I think they work for some people, but again, I know so many people in this demographic that just really don't want to use the dating apps. They're tired of it. They want the in-person connection. And so there's one thing is like coming out, trying these events, but it really does take some courage and, getting out of your comfort zone.
So you were said then the group you attract is from the mid 40s to 70s. Am I right?
Yeah, I mean, that's who I serve.
Okay,
yeah.
so
45 to 75.
So now Jimmy and I have been talking a lot about the age discrepancy between a man and a woman, because obviously it seems like it's a big subject. It seems like men like to date younger women versus younger women like to date older men. So where do we stand for a woman over 65 years old versus a man of 65 years old? What is the expectation of a woman well put together at 65 and a man at 65? What the man would want to date and what a woman would want to date?
Honestly, I think it skews more men trying, more interested in the younger women and some women more interested in the older men. But it's really up to the individual, to be quite honest.
So you're not seeing so much of that?
I mean, I do see a lot of that, but I know I've interviewed around 600 women and men right now who are over 45 and single. And what I hear from the women is like, there's some women who are in really great shape. They're in like the best shape of their lives. They have more financial freedom. They have more freedom of time because they're not raising their kids anymore. And they just want to go out and have fun and meet somebody. And some of them do date younger men because they want someone who's got that energy to match them. And I think men, I don't know, you tell me, do men feel the same way? They're looking for someone.
I mean, from what I see and from what I hear and what is around me, men likes to date women who's at least 10 to 15 years younger than their age.
Yeah, I think it's part of ego.
Yeah, huh?
Don't you think a little bit of his ego related?
No, I just think, you know what, I was listening a very interesting a podcast about a woman who was making a valid suggestion about why she's dating an older man. Why? Because they're more mature, they're more secure, they're more financially stable. They're not needy. They don't need 100% of their attention. They don't want to be the center of the attention. And they give them the freedom they need to have. When you're dating a young man and a young woman at 30, 35, the same age, they're needy. They want each other's attention. They don't want this one to go out with a girlfriend. Why are you going out with a girlfriend? Men, when they get older, you want to go out with your girlfriend, go out with your girlfriend, have a great time. I think that's a different dynamic of a woman dating an older guy. I mean, older, not old. Older guy dating a younger woman.
That's a good distinction.
And I think to me there is much more comfort into the relationship because there is no competition.
Right.
Versus when they're the same age, they're both in the beginning of their career, they want to compete with each other. I think
those are some good points.
Yeah. I mean, it's not. I mean, I was just listening to a podcast talking about that, and I said, "Well, that's kind of interesting." And he was also a joke. He's a beautiful, attractive-looking woman with an older guy, and she said, "How old are you?" He said, "I'm working." How old am I? $70 million.
Right. Oh gosh.
Okay. You know what I'm saying? I mean, women also, and if I was an attractive-looking woman, I would want to be with a man who's financially secure, who could be taking care of me.
But a lot of the women who in this demographic, 50s, 60s, they are financially secure.
Right.
They don't need a man for that. So I think with this demographic, it's a little bit different because a 65-year-old could date a 65-year-old. It's like they're in a similar chapter in life. And that's what makes it
I don't agree.
So
I think
unique.
the 65 years old, we want to date a 45 to 50 years old.
Okay.
I mean, I have a lot of friends of mine in my group age who want to date younger women. Why? Because they still have a lot of energy, and a younger woman's got a lot of energies, and they want that energy. They want that spark. They want that fire.
Okay. Let's play the clip. I feel like every time you talk about this, I would say to you that is not. It's just not right. I mean, there are women who are the same age as men who have the same energy and
I don't disagree with you on that.
So you're just
Jimmy.
not you, Pascal.
Yeah, not me, okay.
I don't want to come attack you. I think some men just really are looking for younger women to validate that they're still virile and that they're still okay, and it's about their ego.
I agree with you
and
on
I
that.
think what you just said, all those other parts of that, they want to let them do what they want to do and they want to have their time. All of that is like part of that dressing up that pig. That's my feeling on it.
Younger women don't always want to date an older man. I mean, for me personally, I turned 50 this year, and I don't want to date a man in his mid-60s. Right. I want to date a guy closer to my age. I don't want to have to be, taking care of him in the next 15 years and catering, being a nurse.
But I think that there is this living in the now that's happening a lot too, where people don't really think about that, what that might look like in 15 years. And again, I understand and appreciate that. I'm not single, but I appreciate that why think about that future when someone just wants someone for now and to be able to enjoy and be with that person. So I think what I take of it is from, being with so many experts is really that the rules have just really gone out the window in dating. And that there is this desire just to find someone, but it has become more challenging. I think that the men are dating younger, so those women then are caught with not being able to find men their own age. I know this from, my contemporaries that are divorced. They can't seem to find any of the guys that are our age because they're all going younger. And so then they're forced to go older guys. Or this new idea of going to younger men, which I haven't seen too much of, but I'm all for.
I mean, I have a couple of friends of mine who like to date younger guys.
Yes.
They want younger guys. And I said, what are you doing? She said, I'm having a good time.
Yes.
I'm just having a good time. I said, do you see any future? No, there is no future.
They don't have as many back issues.
Yeah. No, but they have a good time. And again, when you reach a certain group age, when you reach the 50, the 55, okay, most likely women, men are divorced, or if they've never been married, they don't have kids, okay?
Right.
So now you encounter in a relationship where not only you try to court the woman and try to get to know her and fall in love with her and build a life together, you get kids in the equation.
Right.
I know for a fact that, when I used to bring a girlfriend of mine at my house, my son didn't like this one. And that was a problem. So there is the challenge of dating in the pre-golden years, the year where you are, Jamie, where your kids still younger, where they still, have an opinions and they're very protective of you. So I've been in some relationship where, women didn't accept my kids. And I've been in a relationship where I don't know if I want to raise kids anymore. I'm in the stage in my life where they're gone. I want to be able to travel. And I think going to a younger woman, that's the problem I'm encountering, because usually they have children who are like teenagers or a little bit younger.
Yeah.
It's a very complex subject now.
It really is. And it's such, you could speak to it. This is your industry. How much has this all changed over the years for you?
Well, I just started in this 2 years ago. So
all right.
A year and a half ago. So.
Well, so what were you doing before?
Before I had a community for women entrepreneurs.
Okay.
Yeah, so I had some experience in building communities,
and relationships. Okay. So you really just are a little, not too new, but fresh to this. And so over this couple of years, how much have things changed? Or you haven't seen that?
I wouldn't say it's changed. I think the dating apps and technology have changed things quite a bit because, people used to meet at church or out to dinner with friends or through introductions from, friends or relatives, and people do still meet that way, but it's less frequent and people are more turning to the apps. And then you have all the behavior patterns that have erupted because of the apps, where people are now, they don't take as much time to really get to know someone because they're off to the next person already. I think I heard you on a previous podcast talk about a woman, and she goes to each different floor, and there's like a better guy on the next floor, better, and she keeps going instead of just like, hey, this guy seems really great. Right. I think that goes both ways, but it's the behavior pattern that people have really acquired since the dating apps, because it's so easy to just swipe and look for the next one.
Right. That is so right. This idea of sort of always wanting more or thinking that something is better.
Yeah.
And then with this continual, the gray divorce, which is this divorce after 50. I don't know why they're calling it gray after 50.
Right.
Some of us don't.
You're getting gray hair after 50.
But this is called, it's a gray divorce.
Give you a lot of gray hair.
Continues to rise as divorces decline, but the age group of 50 plus are the ones that are on the rise.
Yep.
And that we're all looking for people and not able to find them. So this whole idea of sort of going back to basics and just going back and trying to meet people in person. I do love it.
But it's very hard to go back to basics for the simple extent. Then you wake up in the morning, you go to work, you spend all day, you come home, you're tired, and all of a sudden you put your TV, you get Netflix, Hulu, you watch, you order a food from your phone, the food comes up, and you become lazy. Okay, you don't want to go out. Going out, it's an effort. And before you didn't have that Netflix, that Hulu, and that DoorDash. You had to go out.
Right.
Yeah.
And I think, to me, we become a very lazy society where we want instant gratification. We take the phone and we glance through the app. We click this one, and 99% of the time, I don't find it successful. It's much better to be able to go out and meet people that way, but it's not easy.
Right. So what is your pitch then, Megan? Like how do you get people to come in person when we are dealing with some of what Pascal has laid out?
The right people hear it and they're interested. I was on WGN a few times. I've got a lot of people apply just from that alone because they heard it and they're like, oh, I've been looking for something like this. And, I talk to both the men and women and they say a lot of the same things. I've heard, divorce horror stories, and now they're single and they want to meet somebody and they're ready to start dating, but they've tried the apps and they just keep hitting walls and they're not having a good experience. And it's more challenging. The more rejection you experience, the more challenging it is to put yourself out there. And then they see this and they're like, oh, that sounds different. I'm going to give that a try. And so, yeah, and it's free to join. So you can sign up, just pay for the events you want to attend, check it out, and see how it works for you.
What makes you decide? You know, I mean, obviously, it's been just 2 years you've been doing it. What all of a sudden you enlightening said, "Hey, I'm going to do that." What leads you to do what you do? How did it come up about?
This is a crazy story. So as I mentioned, my previous business was a women community for women, and I grew that community through hosting events. So I have a lot of experience in this. I closed that company down in 2022. I started working for another company, and I had this idea because I talked to a dating coach, and we were actually going to partner together and do events for her clients so they could meet each other in person. And we were planning this out. She backed out of it. And I just thought it was such a cool idea. And I started researching it. I'm like, my gosh, nobody's doing this for people my age or even people over 50. Like, there was no options out there. So I started putting it out there to people, just testing the waters. Like, oh, people love the idea. So I had an event. It was a dinner party at the end of March 2024 for singles to test out the waters. People had great time. They went on dates afterwards. I had great feedback. 3 weeks later, I had a crazy accident. I fell and I broke both wrists at the same time. And that completely shifted things for me. I ended up having to move back in with my parents for 2 months. Luckily, I had parents who were able to take care of me. There were so many blessings that came out of this experience. I really don't look at it as like a bad experience. And while I was there, while I was at my parents' house, I couldn't do anything. I couldn't work. And the company that I was working at ended up closing. So I'm at my parents' house. I'm in my late 40s. I have no job. My parents are taking care of me. Literally, my mom's like bathing me, brushing my teeth, like everything. So I was meditating. I was walking in nature. And I got a very clear message from Source that this is the work I meant to do. And now is the time. And I took that message and I started putting a business plan together. And I was researching more online while I was there. And I really decided, like, this is what I'm going to do. And I was telling my dad about it. And my parents ended up investing. So I got a seed investment from my family. And it was like, all right, I'm doing this. And the first few events were tough because I didn't have anyone and I had to go out and find people. But it's been growing. As I mentioned, I've interviewed around 600 people now, and there's really, truly a need for it. So the goal is to start here in Chicago, figure out what works, how to really build this community in a way that serves people, gets them out of the house, gets them meeting in person. I mean, I already have 3 success stories, so it works. Yeah,
okay, that's great.
It definitely works.
I was going to ask that. So are you, because we've talked to a lot of matchmakers and dating experts and relationship experts. So are you matchmaking? Like, are you thinking about the group of people that are going to be there and sort of seeing how they would go? Or are you just really, gathering men and women and sort of seeing and creating the environment and the conditions for them to meet?
That's exactly it.
That's
yes.
what she does. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And so, where are you with your relationship? How are you doing with that?
Oh, I'm going on a lot of really great dates.
Are you dating anybody?
Yep.
Are you?
I'm not dating anyone specifically yet, but yes, I go on a lot of great dates. And then, I mean, the guys I date now are so different than I used to date.
Yeah.
I mean, they bring me flowers. They want to make sure I get home safely. They're just really amazing guys. And I'm putting myself out there, just like I encourage a lot of the people in the community to do, and learning about myself and meeting great people, and the right one is coming.
Right.
Okay.
Do you feel, do you feel that hurts you in some way with some people that, may or may not want to work with you or come to your events? Do they care that you're with someone?
I think honestly, like when that right person does come into my life, I think that's going to make this even stronger,
right?
More compelling, because I'm on a journey right now along with my clients, and the end, obviously, goal is for people to meet their companion. And this is the really interesting thing I hear, and how it's so different from dating in your 20s, 30s, and 40s. People are looking for a companion, someone to go to dinners with, to go travel with, to go to the museums with, to just really experience life with and enjoy life with. They're not necessarily looking to get married again. They would be open to it, but that's not the end goal. Their end goal is to really find a companion to enjoy life with.
Oh, good.
And I'm on that journey with them.
Exactly. So we talked at the top that this is our Valentine's Day themed episode. It's the week of Valentine's Day. Why do you think, I mean, I guess it's obvious that Valentine's Day is sort of fraught. I mean, it's a hallmark holiday of love. And I did a little bit of just research on it. I mean, it's still, one of the top day times for the dating apps, right, of activity around Valentine's Day. But why do you think that Valentine's Day brings up so much emotion? And what's your suggestion to people around this time who maybe don't have someone?
Yeah. I mean, I think it is just a reminder of, because it's focused on love. And if you don't think that you have that love in your life, then it's a reminder of what you don't have.
Yeah.
But I encourage people to really look at love differently. You have love in your life. It may not be from your partner, your companion yet, but really take notice of the love that you do have in your life, your friends, your family, your children, and have gratitude for that and really appreciate that, because that is going to attract more of the people in your life that are going to love you in that way.
What a great sentiment. I also love the Galentine's Day.
Mm-hmm.
And what is Galentine?
It's the gals. It's just being with your girlfriends on Valentine's Day. I think that's wonderful.
I mean, to me, all those holidays are caca nonsense. Every day should be Valentine if you get with the right person. Every day should be Christmas if you're the right person. Every day should be New Year's if you're the right person.
Yes.
I just don't think, and to me, this is a hallmark holiday.
So do you celebrate Valentine's Day typically?
I never would celebrate.
So you wouldn't make like a date for Valentine's Day?
No, I would not go ripped off in a restaurant and pay overpriced for a shit dinner.
Right. Okay.
No,
okay. I like that.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I think to me, every day is Valentine's. If you do right,
Pascal, you crack me up.
But it's true.
I hear
if you're with the right person, you don't need to show her how much you love her on Valentine and buy her flowers, which going to cost you 5 times the price it would cost you if it was a regular day.
Yeah.
So I think to me, it's
I say that, but I still like to get chocolates and flowers.
Okay. Is your husband keep buying you? What does he buy you for Valentine's? Does he get you some chocolate?
Steve has traditionally put like a bunch of Hershey's Kisses and chocolates all over the dining room table, and then like a balloon or something.
Oh,
like for my girls and me, like a collective. Yeah. And I do little gifts for my girls. But I don't haven't necessarily done a very let's go out to a special dinner on Valentine's Day. I don't really ascribe to that either.
Yeah,
so,
I mean, I think to me, just it's another day.
It's just another day. Another day, another dollar.
Another dollar. Exactly.
Okay, so I have something I think is going to be fun. I love when I see something's going to be fun. We solicited some audience questions, so I've got those, and I can ask maybe both of you to answer those. And then I also have a couple of rapid fires that we sort of sometimes like to do. Does that sound good? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So, what advice do you give people dating after divorce or long relationships? So we've been talking about a lot about that people are coming out of these long relationships and wanting to get back into dating, but it's sort of a totally different scene than they're used to.
To me, I would say...
Expert number one.
I would say reevaluate yourself. Look at yourself. Make yourself happy. Don't look at for someone to make you happy. Just take care of you first. Okay. And then when you're ready, with the time is you can jump from a divorce or a relationship right up to a divorce and a marriage and a relationship.
Right.
I think you need some time in between. Spend time with the things you like to do. If it's you like to go to the gym, photography, museum, whatever make you happy, and hang with a friend who care very much about you, show you love.
Great.
I love that advice.
No.
Yeah. I would say, I talked a little bit about this before, is I think that's the first step. And then also to, you think about what you want, but not from a checklist perspective. Think about it from a, more of an energetic perspective. How does this person make you feel? And instead of, asking questions that are going to like, how do you feel about this person or that person? Really listen to how they live their life and use that as more of the like guiding factors of, this person might actually work with me, and feel into it too. Like I said, I think we're so in our heads these days that a lot of people just forget how to like really feel from their gut instinct.
Okay.
For women to really also, the big one is, and I would say majority of the women that I interview can tell they are very much in their masculine energy. And so we really encourage women to learn how to get back into their feminine energy, what does
that mean?
Like.
That we're into our masculine energy?
The masculine energy is
Pascal knows
doing
about
energy.
that.
I'm going to answer that.
Yeah.
Okay.
The masculine energy is a doing energy, right?
Okay.
We all have masculine and feminine energies, and the masculine energy is a doing energy. And so that's great. Like for women who, are moving up in their career, a lot of that is their masculine energy. They're raising their children after a divorce, masculine energy. They're taking care of things. The feminine energy is receiving. It's soft. It's nurturing. It's a very different energy from the masculine energy. And so when I go on dates with people, I consciously make sure I'm in my feminine energy and I am very nurturing and I'm receiving. And I cannot tell you, like, the conversations I have with men on the dates, after the dates, it's so different than when I show up in my masculine energy.
I love that. I don't think I've heard this before, or at least in that way. I think I would have a hard time with it, but I would love to. I'm going to explore that. I'm going to experiment in being in my feminine energy. Maybe my husband will like me more.
Okay. All right.
You mean I let him make decisions a little bit more?
All right.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll try it out. Okay. Thanks again, by the way, for our audience. We did get a lot of questions, which I was surprised about. How do you rebuild confidence after you feel like it's sort of lost? Again, maybe you've been broken up with or something, and like how do you get your mojo back? Okay, expert one.
First of all, you need to take time. Okay. You need to just reevaluate what didn't work and what works. Evaluate the relationship. Why did it fail? And the reason why, and understand it, and try to see if that's something you could change. Or try to maybe focus more on you right now and take care of yourself. I think, to me, when you go to a long relationship or a marriage or a divorce and kid, I think it's time for reflection. It's a reflection time where you look at yourself in the mirror and say, hey, what did I do right? What did I do wrong? What can I change to be a better person?
Great.
That's the way I will.
I like that. What about you? Rebuilding confidence?
That, and you have to put yourself out there.
It takes time. You need to take time. You can't go from a 5-10 years marriage or 5-6 years relationship and end it and all of a sudden put yourself up there. You're not going to be on a healthy state of mind because you're going to keep, and I've done it, you're going to compare what you had to what's coming. And that's not fair. I think it needs time in between to heal, to close the wounds, and go into the dating with an open mind and look at the person for what she is, not compare it to what I had. And I've done that in the past. Every time I used to break up with a relationship, I used to jump on the one and say, but this one has this one, this one. And you can't do that. And the best advice is taking time. Just take a pause. You don't need to jump right away. Just keep yourself busy, keep yourself happy. Get to know you and what works and what doesn't work. That's the advice.
I read something recently that said confidence is as confidence does. It's sort of this idea that you have to, like, confidence comes by being confident. Sort of you have to get out there and do some things and build that up, build the mojo up. But I'm hearing a theme, which is a lot of reflection. That's what I'm hearing you guys say.
Steps.
Right.
Take small steps forward.
Here's an interesting question from an audience member. Are standards higher as we get older, and is that a good thing?
Yes, I think they're definitely higher.
Should be. Yeah.
Yes, I think it's a good thing, but I also think that a lot of people are still looking at the wrong things as to what makes somebody a match for you. And just being more open and learning more about people before you completely disqualifying them because they answered a question wrong or the way they showed up differently. Because people, I mean, especially for men, like a lot of men I've talked to, they get nervous. And so they might show up on the first date talking too much and not asking enough questions. But the right woman can guide that conversation with grace without confrontation and you know, turn it into a great date. So I think, yeah,
I love that. What about you?
To me, I think.
I mean, your standards are high no matter what.
My standards are very high. I think I need a lot. I need sophistication. I need conversation. I need presentation. I need a sense of fashion. I need to see somebody who will be a good reflection of who I am.
You need physical attraction.
Physical attraction, has a higher standard, has a career, who has been traveling a little bit, who's a little bit aware about the world, the politics, the economies, and the fashion, architecture, art, food. There is so many things to me, and that's why I'm single, because I haven't found what I want, and I'm not about to settle just because I want a companion.
Okay.
I'm happy being alone. I'm happy. I have a full life. I have a business who's doing well. I have my beautiful children. I have tons of friends around me. Would I like to have a relationship? No doubt in my mind, but I'm not going to settle for less than what I want.
Right. And what I would say is that you really have to look hard at yourself to decide, is it really settling, or is it just really understanding and appreciating that maybe no one is going to be that perfect person unless it's you.
Yeah. But there is no perfection, you know.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
I'm not perfect.
So it's not so much settling, but maybe, again, getting close to where you need to be.
I think communication.
I mean, we talk about this a lot, I say, because my husband's the greatest, but he's not perfect.
Communication, I think. Yeah, I know you are. Communication, I think, is key. To be able to communicate, to be able to debate, agree to disagree, and move on.
Okay. All right, good. Agree to disagree. We'll leave it. What does healthy dating look like in midlife?
I think it's becoming friends first and then letting that naturally build into something more. The people that have met through Throwback Dating, that has been the key. They took it very slow. They got to know each other. And then that friendship turned into something more. And now they're traveling together and they're meeting each other's families and they're having a great time. Yeah.
You know, really quick, I don't know if you guys are watching the Olympics, but I love the ice skating and the ice dancing. And there's this couple, Chalk is the woman's name. I don't know. It's Chalk and Evan, maybe. I can't remember. But they're the U.S. Ice dancing couple, and they were friends first and they're married now. And she was just interviewed and talking about how she thinks that they're so great because they had this foundation of being friends for years before they went into love.
Friendship is the key tense of any relationship. You know, if you have a good friendship, you could solve everything.
Yes.
So she has to be your best friend before she become your lover.
Yes.
You know, I mean, I think to me, communication, being a friend, hanging, like to be with that person, and all of a sudden you're going to see the quality of that person.
Good.
But friendship is the key. I agree with you.
So healthy dating is really looking to be
your best friend.
Friends, yes. Okay. What if I feel too old to date? That's what someone said.
That's my problem.
No.
No. I mean, you know, I think when you reach a certain age, you know, when you're young, you have the ocean is your oysters.
Yes.
As you get older, your pool gets smaller.
Yeah.
You know, and smaller and smaller, because I don't want to go out with the 35 and the 40 years old. I want to go out with somebody who's older. So my pool as you get older, the pool gets smaller and smaller and smaller. That's the challenge.
Okay. What do you think of that?
I agree. I think the pool is smaller. That's why I'm creating a community for these people.
Right.
Because it's harder to find them in the wild. But I think that I truly believe there's someone out there for everyone. But you have to believe that yourself. If you really feel like you're too old to date, then you're not going to attract the right people.
Right. Mindset.
Mindset is 90% of it.
Great. All right, let's move on to a couple rapid fire. These are just sort of one answers. Dinner date or activity date is the best. What do you think?
I think it depends. I think, the very beginning, some time to sit down and talk to each other. But, second, third, fourth date, like more activity type dates,
Okay.
I think are fun. Yeah.
What do you like to do?
I
You
would say
activity.
the activity.
I'm going to answer for you.
Yeah.
Because I know you so well.
Yeah, activity.
Okay. Coffee first or cocktail first?
I think that's just a personal opinion. If somebody drinks, there's a lot of non-drinkers in the community.
Right.
I don't.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So either, depending. Love at first sight, yes or no? Is it possible? We talk a lot about this too.
I can't say it's not possible. I think it's definitely happened for people before.
Yeah.
I would say love at first sight.
Okay.
Yeah.
Love it. Biggest dating turnoff?
I think for me personally, it would be a guy who just like he's not present. He's, checking his phone or he just really doesn't know how to hold a conversation and he's not really paying attention to what I say. He's like talking over me or thinking too far in advance and trying to impress someone.
Pascal?
I would say drinking.
Like drinking too much and then getting like sloppy?
Getting too much drinking, yeah. Sometimes women have tendency to have too many cocktails just because maybe a little bit insecurity, a little bit uncomfortable. So they think then having a couple of drinks put them in a better mood. But it's too enough for me.
Yeah. Okay. Biggest dating green flag, something that really excites you or that you think your clients or people should be excited about?
Yeah, I think it's, first of all, somebody that has qualities like if you think about your best friends, your closest, the people you're closest to in your life, and you look at the qualities that those people have, does this person have those qualities? Those are the things we need to be looking at, not so much like, what kind of house they live in or all those things that don't really matter. It's like, do they have the qualities of the people that matter most in my life?
Great.
I think to me, it takes time to find those qualities. It takes more than a dinner.
Okay.
I think to me is visual attraction. I got to be visually attracted by that person to start engaging the conversation and go on to more date and get to know her more and more and more.
Awesome. These are great answers to both our audience questions and to these rapid fire ones. I hope that I hope we got to everyone's questions. And I guess my final, I don't know if you have one, is just, for people feeling discouraged as we are heading into Valentine's Day, like what do you think? What's your one message for them around dating, finding love? What do you want them to remember? I
think love is possible at any age, honestly. I've seen it. There's proof out there. If you don't believe it, go look for the proof out there. There are people in their 70s, 80s, 90s falling in love. The first couple that fell in love through Throwback Dating is in their 70s. So I think it is possible for love at any age. But like Pascal said, like take some time to get to know yourself, heal those wounds, and then start putting yourself out there because it really does take practice.
Yeah.
I think you need to learn from your success and failure and try to modify to be a better person. And I love those rapid questions. I love the fact that our audience engaging and asking you. I like that. Keep subscribing.
Yes, keep subscribing. We want more subscribers if you want to hear more.
And we love your comment, obviously.
Yeah, we love everyone's
your comments.
Yeah, yeah, great.
Okay.
And happy
Valentine's
Day.
to everyone.
Yay!